Hi Broderick, my name's Michaeli. How are you today?
Good. A little bit tired.
Yeah. You had big Christmas break and New Year's?
I did.
Yeah.
Very too much drinking.
Oh, okay.
Not enough sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's typically what happens over the Christmas break. So when do you go back to work?
Next week
Okay. So
on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you do for work, Broderick?
I'm a landscaper,
Mm-hmm.
just qualified, but mostly I do spray concreting. So that's just doing decorative patterns on top of concrete, and I kind of like it because it's not ditch digging. Most landscaping is ditch digging, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, okay. No worries. Do you mind if I just take some notes throughout the session?
That'll be fine.
That's great. Okay, beautiful.
Will there be many people seeing these notes?
No. It's just for my records, and then the things that we discussed today. If you come back for another session, then I can look back on them and just know what your occupation was and anything that we raised as an issue today. We can look at how that's progressed, whether it's getting better or worse, and how your treatment's going and things like that. So it's kind of just an indication for me. We'll keep them confidential, and we'll just put these in your own record. So if you're coming back later on, or if you're interested, you can see them again as well.
Thank you.
No worries. So how long have you been landscaping for, Broderick?
2, maybe 3 years now.
Okay, yep.
2 and a bit. And I just finished, like I said, finished TAFE end of last year, so which is only a couple of days ago, but that's okay.
So with the spray concreting and landscaping, that's fairly well outdoors?
Mostly outdoors. I get a lot of sun.
Yep.
Um,
And would you say with the spray concrete, it's quite taxing on your body? Is it quite?
the actual job itself's not too hard.
Yep.
I'm a little overweight, which makes some aspects a little bit harder than they used to be.
Yep.
But it's a bit hard on the back, but I don't do much over winter because it's raining, but
Mm-hmm.
every time winter's finished and start up again, the first couple of weeks are a little bit sore on the back because I do hold up maybe anywhere from 5 up to 12 kilos worth of concrete out in a gun out in front of me, but I don't have to hold it too far. It's sort of up close to the chest a bit
Mm-hmm.
in a circular pattern.
So do you do experience a bit of back pain then?
It's not so much back pain as just sore back from working it out a bit. As you'd imagine, it's probably a bit of a atrophy for not using it over the winter period, and
Mm-hmm.
it's only a week or two and then it's good, unless I have a huge day or something, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing major.
Yeah, no worries. Broderick, do you smoke or drink at all?
As we discussed earlier, I probably drink more than I should.
Yeah.
I've never smoked though.
Okay, yep. So, with your alcohol intake in a typical week, so not necessarily Christmas and New Year's, probably a bad indication, but how many standard drinks would you say you'd have per week?
Maybe 1, maybe 2 a week.
Okay.
Normally don't drink much, but
Yeah. And would they generally be on the same day, or you just kind of spread them out a bit?
no, it's generally once every couple of weeks I might have 3 or 4 drinks.
Mhm.
I haven't been drunk in years, or I've been merry once or twice, but not much. I
Mhm.
usually, don't have the energy to drink as much as I used to.
Oh, okay, no worries. Is your energy levels an issue?
No, I think being a little bit overweight, maybe that's a bit of an issue, but no, I just don't have that go out and stay up till midnight. I like my sleep, and you get home, unless you're really trying to get drunk, you can only drink 3 or 4 drinks before you go to bed.
No worries. And water, how much water would you say you typically drink a day?
I don't drink much water. on a hot day when I'm working and I take a water bottle with me, I can drink up to 5 litres.
Yep.
But in the general normal day, unless I'm sort of focusing on it, probably only 1 or 2 glasses a day. So maybe half a litre.
So that would be a typical intake, 1 to 2 glasses a day.
Yeah. Mostly I drink juice.
So how much juice would you typically have?
Couldn't tell you. Whatever's there until it's gone.
So it would be a couple of glasses.
I don't know. I can sit down and drink the whole 2 litres of juice in a sitting. So,
And
yeah,
is, yeah.
I just like juice. I don't like the taste of water.
Okay. Yep. Do you drink any other clear fluids?
No, not really.
No Gatorade or Powerade or something?
I drink a bit of Powerade.
Yeah.
If I'm attempting to be slightly healthier, I drink Powerade, even though I know it's probably not the greatest for me anyway, but slightly better than Coke, I suppose, which I drink probably a bit too much of as well.
Yeah, Powerade is good for boosting your electrolytes and things like that. So if you're out in the sun working hard, you start depleting those natural minerals and things and salts in your body. So the Powerade, although it's not as healthy as water, it is beneficial in that it will increase those electrolytes in your blood and help you to keep going as well, give you a bit of energy with that sugar. To keep going through your day. So if you're finding you're a bit tired and especially if you're not drinking enough water, it would be good to have one of those electrolyte drinks or something similar, whether it's Powerade or something similar. Yeah.
Does it help with cramps and stuff as well?
Definitely does. So the magnesium in your body, lack of magnesium causes cramps and things like that. So boosting those natural minerals in your blood will help as well with the cramping. Do you experience cramps?
Not since I stopped playing footy, but I used to drink Powerade when I would cramp up at footy.
Yeah.
I dislocated my knee, so I haven't played that for a while.
So how long ago did you dislocate your knee?
It's 2, maybe 3 years ago. So I dislocated my knee, and while mucking about at work, and then that's when I started doing a different. Obviously, I recovered from that and then started my other job. So it's probably closer to the 3.5 years sort of mark. I've had a couple of minor dislocations and one major one since then.
No worries. So you don't still experience the cramping and things like that?
I don't think I do enough exercise to experience said cramping. I do play competitive laser tag. I started that up 6 months ago to try and lose some weight. It's a little bit, I experienced a bit of stiffness in the calves, but yeah, it's not as taxing as footy used to be, but it's sort of I suppose it's a sport, but it's not too much of a high impact, so I don't risk the knee too much.
So with laser tag, are you mostly walking or?
Just sort of mini jogging, sprinting sort of thing.
Okay.
You don't you walk a bit and you sort of the actual real estate you're not supposed to run, but that's as long as you can stop within 1 step. So it's a bit like netball, I suppose, in that behalf. As soon as if they say stop, you have to stop.
Yeah.
Within a step. So we can move as fast as we can within that. During some of our nights, I suppose when I play laser tag, I'll get to the point where I can't move anymore because I'm breathing that heavily and have to stop. Which doesn't take too much for a fellow of my size, but it's still, like I said, a low impact, but enough to get me blood flowing and hopefully lose a bit of weight without risking popping the knee out.
Yeah. Do you wear a knee brace at all?
Here and there. I actually, the last time I dislocated my knee was a full dislocation. It come out when I hit the ground and it popped back in. That was during our laser tag tournament.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I tore a ligament the first time I did it when I was mucking around at work, and they said I should get it fixed, but I didn't have to, and I sort of didn't have the time. Like by the time I got into the surgeon, it had already healed, and it would have been another 6 weeks for them to cut it open and put it. And I was like, I didn't. So it doesn't bother me that much. So now it pops out and pops back in. I was a bit loose for a couple of days, but it wasn't really sore. I finished another hour of playing laser tag after I did it. I felt a bit queasy and like throwing up for the first few minutes, and then we go back to being fine.
Yeah. And did you ice it?
No, I didn't really do much about it afterwards. I think I might have put a little bit of ice on it when I got home, but that was a couple of hours after the stuff had finished. So
Yeah.
just sort of one day when I get spare time, I might go around to getting the tendon fixed if it's possible. They said it still is, but we'll see.
Okay. Definitely, if you're having your dislocations, try and wear your knee brace when you're playing your physical sports like your laser tag and things like that. Definitely after it's dislocated, to reduce the swelling and as well as the pain if you're experiencing that, try and put some ice on it. You can put ice on it for up to 48 hours afterwards. Just put it on for 20 minutes or so, take it off until it cools down, just back to normal body temperature, and then put it back on again as well. It'll help reduce the swelling and make sure everything goes back into the right places and things as well. Okay, Broderick. What we might do is have a look at your eyes now. So if you don't mind, I'll just use this pen torch and put it to the side of your eye. If you can look at my forehead, and we'll just take a couple of pictures and have a look at your eyes and see what's going on.
Alright.
Okay. So I'll just put it to the side of your eye if you want to just look at my forehead there. Lovely. Can you just look here? You just open your eye a little bit more. Yep, that's great. So what I'll do is I'll just put these pictures across to the tablet here. It'll allow you to be able to see a little bit better, and we'll have a look at what's going on. So do you know much about iridology at all, Broderick?
Not too much. I understand it's the reading of the eyes. I've had it done once before when I was younger.
Okay, yeah.
Probably I think I was 8, 9. All I remember is being told that I had very low stress levels for a kid of my age, which I didn't think kids should have. Well, I don't know what I thought at the time, but I don't think kids should be too stressed at 9 years old anyway. But you haven't really had a need to do it, and my fiance is taking a course, so I thought I'd be a bit of interested in again to see if there's anything that I can change, see if there's anything that stands out. Just have a little look.
So iridology is the study of your eye. So what we're looking at today is the colour of your eye, the structure of your eye, and the things that we can see in your eyes. You might have noticed if you look in the mirror, sometimes there's some dark dots or different colours and things within your eye. So your iris will have kind of your family history in it as well. So there'll be things that from your parents, your grandparents, and your great-grandparents, things that were like medical issues for them within your family history. We can see those things. And then there are also things that are issues for you at the moment. So there might be chronic things that are causing you chronic pain. Also, if you're taking medication and things like that, and predominantly what the medication is working on. For example, if you're taking a lot of pain medication for your knee, which was dislocated, we might be able to see some colouring over that, and that's obviously your liver's working quite hard, specifically kind of in that area, to get rid of the toxins and build up from the medication and things like that. Oh, sorry, are you taking any medications at the moment?
Not currently. No. I try and avoid all medications as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of pharmacies.
Yeah, so your iris is very individual to yourself. It does show your family history, and also it's very unique pattern. So, similar to how they use like fingerprints and things like that for security, and they can also scan your iris and use that for identification and things like that. So you might have seen that in the movies. Yeah.
So is anyone's iris the same as anyone else's?
No, so they're all completely unique. So it's based on the individual themselves and the things that happen throughout their life, but also on their family history. So yeah, going back the 3 generations. But even identical twins, they won't have the same iris. So yeah. Okay, so these are your eyes here, Patrick. And you have you do have blue eyes.
Does blue eyes make a difference in anything, or?
Yeah, so the different colours of your eyes. So blue, they will have more tendencies to have issues with mucus build-up. So like sinusitis, bronchitis, things like congestion type issues, as well as the mucus lining between different organs. So when that breaks down, then organs kind of tend to stick together a little bit. The other thing that they more likely to develop later on in life would be arthritis and bone kind of issues. So arthritis is definitely something you need to kind of be aware of, and especially in regards to your knee. So having a trauma in that area.
I assume that I have damaged cartilage, so I assume that when I get older I'll probably have arthritis in my knee.
Yeah.
Before I was a landscaper, I did a lot of, I was a meat worker or a boner in abattoirs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work on my hands. I mean, even to this day, as I pull one of the fingers in the tendon will pull across the knuckle, so possibly when I get older I might have a little bit in the hands.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hopefully I can avoid that by eating some, I don't know, other grain and veggies to try and get some healthier food going.
Definitely reducing foods that cause inflammation will help as well. So not eating a lot of dairy, so your milks, your wet dairies, milk, cream, sour cream, and things like that. Try and stay away from those. As well, try not to have acidic foods. They also cause inflammation and won't be helping with the... Yeah, sorry?
But they taste so good.
They do, that's the thing, isn't it? But try and stick with your fruit and vegetables, like you said. Try and have at least 2 servings of fruit per day and 5 servings of vegetables. Try and stay away from your sugary foods as well as your refined flour and things like that. So yeah, the other thing is what really good for your type would be fish. Do you eat fish at all?
No, I can't stand the taste of seafood. When I was younger I used to eat fish, but taste buds must have changed. The only thing even close I eat these days is probably calamari.
Okay, yeah.
And occasionally I will get a fillet fish from Macca's, even though I don't like the taste so much, just to try and get a bit of fish, but I'm sure that's probably not the healthiest fish.
Or if you're not a big fish eater, you can get fish oil tablets, which they contain the omega-3, which is what we're wanting to get from the fish. There are odorless ones now available, so if you can't taste it when you swallow it, but also if you've had them before, they can cause reflux. So these odorless ones, they don't have that.
I used to take them as a kid because the parents tried to make us take fish oil tablets, and I used to have, I'd swallow them and they'd be hard to swallow, and then I could not stand, I'd probably a bit prone to acid reflux, I suppose, but I would always get them coming back, and the taste was pretty horrible.
Yeah, so these, they're quite small tablets, so they should be fairly easy to swallow, but also they don't cause that, that yucky fishy taste afterwards. I think you take four a day, so you can take those in the morning.
4 tablets at once, or different times during the day?
Yeah, no, you can take them all in the morning. That's fine. Yeah, just to boost that in your body would be good. Yeah. The other thing, do you eat meat at all?
I'm a meat eater.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a meal unless it's got meat in it.
No worries.
So, no. Probably single food group, probably the largest I eat.
Okay.
So more meat than anything else, really.
That's fine. Just make sure it's got like a good quality protein. So white chicken, like white meat. Sorry, like chicken. If you're not so keen on the fish, try and have free range chicken. Very good for you. Just good quality proteins. Carbohydrates fine. Just try and stay away from the white flour. And try and have some good fats. So like avocado, olive oil, coconut oil, things like that. Quite good for you as well.
Yep.
With your fluids, you do need to be trying to have at least 2 litres of fluid every day. Of clear fluids, it doesn't need to be water necessarily. You will need to have like at least 1 litre of water a day. But you can try bone broths or vegetable broths. You can have juices like vegetable juices or fruit juices, but I try and have it in a 50-50 concentration. So water it down with water. Herbal teas, do you drink any herbal teas?
I drink a little tea here or there, not very often though. No, I wouldn't say very often, maybe once or twice a month on whatever herbal tea of some sort.
Yeah. If you're working outside, for every hour of exercise you should be drinking an additional litre of water. Especially being out in the sun, you'll be sweating and kind of getting rid of those, a lot of water and things like that through sweat. So maybe even try having some iced teas, iced herbal teas might be good. Have you tried those before at all?
I don't mind some of them.
Yeah. So maybe if you can have like a bottle of your iced tea and a bottle of water. You can also flavour your water with lemon juice or grapefruit or something like that. Yeah.
I use a lemon occasionally to flavour my water.
Yeah.
And anything to take away from the taste of the water itself.
Okay, so are you having drinking purified water?
We do have a filter at home. So it's quite. I have fish tanks, so I need it to take everything out for the fish. So I use the same one for the fish as I do for me. So it's quite good. I believe it's quite good. It costs me money, so it's right.
So it's taking the chlorine out of the water.
Chlorine, fluoride, stuff like that.
Yeah, great. So try that with the lemon as well. It might help you to drink a little bit more of it as well. Also, you can have things like your Powerades or electrolyte drinks to kind of try and boost. Yeah. No worries. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so if we look here, this is your left eye. So your left eye predominantly relates to your family history from your mother's side, and then your right eye would relate to your family history from your father's side. So this side we're looking at your left eye, so it would relate to things from your mother. So if we have a look here, it looks like there's some family history with issues with your lungs. Have you got any family history on your mum's side of lung issues?
Not that I know of. I mean, mum's a smoker, dad's a smoker too, really, but grandpa was a smoker, but I don't think they had any real great issues with their lungs. I know grandpa was fairly healthy right up until his end, where he ended up with cancer everywhere. So I mean, I assume it was probably they just say that it was everywhere, so I don't know where it was exactly. I'm not too up to date with the family history on much more than that. I do have, I believe I have weak lungs. When I was a kid, I had bronchitis when I was only a couple of weeks old, I believe it was, and the doctors actually said I was going to die because it was so blocked up, and I couldn't breathe, and there's nothing they could do to help me breathe for some reason. And then Dad says that he just put his mouth over both my nose and mouth and sucked all the snot out and spat out. He said he got a mouthful and a half of snot out of a little baby. And I think it was from that point on that why I suppose my family leans towards a little bit of natural medicine, is because they don't trust doctors when something's so simple. And they said there was nothing they could do because there was no drug that they had that could have fixed that.
Yeah.
So Dad was like, well, it's just simple, remove the snot.
So that was when you were quite young.
Yeah, I've always had bouts of not pneumonia. There's one just before it.
Kind of like chest infections.
Yeah, chest. There's one